let's zoom out on the season. Let's zoom out on the Raptors season and take a real look at where we sit, how we're doing. Are we on the right path for the long term? Are we on the right path for the short term? Let's truly understand where we're at in this season and if we should be satisfied with where things sit. We've had a large sample of games now, and it's always kind of, I don't know, it's kind of crept up on us here, where can we keep this going? Can the Raptors sustain this? They're winning games. They're winning at a higher rate than we would have expected. Can they continue to sustain this? And I think we're at the point now where we have to, like, pretty safely say, yes, like, this is a good team. The Raptors are a good team. Maybe they've fallen a little bit off the pace of like a New York Knicks team or a Boston Celtics team, but they're not that far behind them in the standings here. Like, we are at the All-Star break here, and we're a 5th seed. We are the 5th seed here. We are 3.5 games out of the 2 seed Boston Celtics, 3 games back of the 3 seed Knicks, 2 games back of the Cavaliers, who are in 4th, and we have a 3-game lead on the play-in tournament spots. Like, throughout the season, there's been ups and there's been downs, absolutely. But truly, and I continue to say this in my content, but I truly think it's important to really understand, like, we weren't supposed to be this good here. The Raptors were projected to be a 500 team or like slightly less. Like, coming into the season, it was about 40 wins or so. That was the expectation for this team. So the fact that we've been able to do this is remarkable, and we need to truly appreciate that. You know, our team has been excellent on defense. Barnes has looked like the Defensive Player of the Year candidate on a team that really wasn't supposed to be that good defensively. I mean, you look at the players around Scotty Barnes, like Pirtle's a great defender, but he hasn't been healthy, so he hasn't been good when he's been in the lineup. Brandon Ingram's not a great defender. RJ Barrett's a bad defender. Quickly's not a great defender. Mamu is not necessarily known for, like, his defense. Murray Boyle's been a great defender, but other than that, like, Walter has been decent. Grady Dick is not a good defender. And nonetheless, like, all of these guys getting consistent minutes, a lot of, like, non-positive defenders, this has been a great defense. So I think a lot of credit does have to go into what they've been able to achieve on that end of the floor, because they worked for it. They made it a big deal in the offseason, to be this defensive first sort of team, to instill this hard-working defensive mindset. And they've been able to achieve that. And that's a big reason why they are where they are in the standings. They have been one of the, if not the best, clutch defense in the league. They've been able to eke out a lot of ugly wins and tight wins in the clutch as a result of their defense, because their offense has been okay. We're very much feeling with the lack of, like, a traditional big in instances, but we're definitely lacking with shooting, and that's made it difficult in a lot of occasions this season, especially against some of the better teams in the league, for sure. But like this is a team, like last year at this time, we wanted them to lose games. We were hoping they would lose games. It's like an awful position to be in. We wanted the Raptors to lose the games that they were playing. We were invested in the tank. We wanted as good of a draft pick as possible. The Raptors were winning games against teams that were, like, out-tanking them. It was a complicated scenario for the Raptors to be in, but it is 2 years in a row where the Raptors were tanking. They really committed to last year being the first year of their rebuild. So in going off that, 2 years in a row with tanking, last year they only won 30 games. To come into this season and be 9 games above 500 at the All-Star break, it is absolutely incredible. It has to be considered an incredible season by the Raptors, and they've done this without even really making, like, a go-for-it, win-now type of move. Like, obviously, they traded for Brandon Ingram about a year ago now at the trade deadline, but then again, what did they give up to get Brandon Ingram? What was supposed to be a not-so-great first-round pick and expiring salary? That's hardly making a win-now move. It wasn't even to pick one of the Raptors' own picks. They still own all of their draft capital. So they're coming off of a tank. They're in the second year of their rebuild. They have not expended any of their draft capital to make a win-now trade. And yet here they sit, like I said, 32-23, 9 games above 500 on the season. You absolutely have to consider this season a success. Now, there might be some people who, look at that and say, well, how much of a success can we give this? Because we have maybe punched above our weight a little bit to get to this stage of the season, to get to this record at this stage of the season. And yes, we have to give them credit for that, but we could have done more with it. Doesn't it feel like the Eastern Conference is relatively open and it's kind of there for the taking? And if you really strengthen your team, or you can go on a run, I think there's absolutely a case for that. But the Raptors didn't see that sort of move to make at the trade deadline. They're holding their cards close to their chest as normal, and they're not in a rush. And I think that's really the right approach to take. I think we sometimes overrate this necessity to either be a true contender or one of the worst teams in the league. I think it's okay sometimes to win games and to get better and to see what you have, because another tanking season, we wouldn't have 2 All-Stars. We have 2 All-Stars. Scotty Barnes has truly ascended to another level this season. I find it really hard to believe he could have done that on a team that was once again trying to lose more games than they were winning. So a lot of credit has to go to the players for the way that some of them have, like Scotty Barnes, have stepped up this season, how Brandon Ingram has stepped up this season, RJ Barrett performed well this season. Because there's a lot of individuals that aren't really performing for this team. You got to give a shout out to Jamal Shed and guys like Mamu Kelishvili, Colin Murray-Boyles coming in as a rookie. You got to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff for continuing to get this team to stick together despite the losses the last few years, despite the tanking. Morale never really seemed to waver, and for instilling this defensive mindset within the team. Let's not be greedy here. I see a lot of negativity around this team still, but truly, imagine yourself ahead of this season. Truly imagine where you were. If at the time before the season started, if somebody told you at the All-Star break you're going to be the 5th seed and 9 games of 500, wow, how could you have not taken that deal? And we've left some wins on the table too. But how could you have not taken that deal? I think it feels a little bit less incredible where we're at, considering we've been here pretty much all season. We started 1-4, then we went on a run, and we've been pretty much here we've been here for most of the season. So it doesn't feel as grand. But what if we reverse some of the way the season has gone, and we've made a run, and now we've gone up to the 5th seed at this stage? We'd be talking about, oh my God, what a run the Raptors are on. So I think it's important at this point. We've got a week off of action for the Raptors. I think it's very important to zoom out, reflect on what the team has achieved this season, and I think it's a really good showcase of the Raptors. We're on the right path here. We are heading in the right direction. We are a young core that is getting better. We haven't rushed things. We have the capability of making moves in the offseason. I think next year we have a more tradable position with guys like RJ Barrett if the Raptors want to trade him. They, like I said, all of the draft capital at their disposal. Yeah, the financial flexibility doesn't really open up because you still have Pirtle and you still have Quickly, but at this stage, second year of the rebuild, Scotty Barnes is only 24 years old, and he's playing like a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He's an all-star. He could be All-NBA this year. I think it's very, very much safe to say that the Raptors are comfortably ahead of schedule. Now the difficulties will be, okay, what are we going to do the rest of the season? Can we make the playoffs? Can we make some noise in the playoffs? And then how are we going to build on this for next year? Because this is a pretty big building block to try and stack up to next season as well. What are we going to do to build off this? That's going to be some tough work for the front office to try and figure out.